All right, today we're going to look at reflections. So we're kind of going back. We did translations and rotations. Now we're going to look at reflections, which we sort of started. So we're on page 55 here of our notebook. And I want you to go ahead and grab your orange sheet of paper that we wrote rectangle, triangle, oval, and trapezoid on. If you don't have this or you were gone that day, you can go ahead and pause the video now. Make sure you get an orange sheet of paper that will be in the absent folders, and go ahead and set your page up. If you need to kind of pause and rewind and look at this page, you can go ahead and do that, but it's just a giant graph with my X and Y axes and these two diagonal lines, Y equals X and Y equals negative X. The next thing I want to do is we're going to take our shapes, our four shapes, and we are going to cut these shapes out. Hopefully you used a straight edge to do these shapes. If not, it's going to be a little bit tricky. Still possible, but a little bit tricky. You can just make sure that when you cut it, that the lines are straight. Okay, and your triangle was not supposed to be a right triangle nor an equilateral triangle, which has all the same side lengths. And then I have my oval last. Make sure any scraps get put in the trash. Okay, so this can go into the trash, and then we have our shapes, our four shapes. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the rectangle here, and we're going to tape it on this line right here. Now, you have to make sure that it's going through the diagonals. And what I want is for, don't go off the edge, but maybe make this point or one of your points on something here. So like this point right here crosses right there. So that's where I'm going to put it. So I'm going to take a small piece of tape. Make sure not to waste the tape. You don't need a lot. This one's really tiny. So we're going to put it on the diagonal there, making sure it lines up on a point, and we're just going to tape it down. If it doesn't line up on a point, it will somewhere. Okay, just make sure it's on your page here. We're going to take the triangle and we're going to place it on our y-axis. Now, they may overlap when we flip them, and that is okay. So there. We're going to take the oval and put it over here. If you have a flatter edge, it's easier to put on the x-axis. So you're going to put that there. And then we're going to take our trapezoid and we're going to put it right here on that diagonal. Make sure it is on the diagonal or it's going to be a little bit off. Okay, so now what I want to do is you're going to go around each one of them and you are going to trace them. So we're just going to trace around each object. You don't have to worry about tracing the one that's on the line that we're reflecting over. Just kind of the outside stuff. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to label an XY ordered pair on each. So X, Y. We're going to try to find the rule for each one. So this would be our XY. So what you need to do is kind of go around the shape and see maybe where it intersects the blue line. So like, and you can flip this up. See, right here's one. Okay, there's an intersection. It crosses those blue lines really well. So this is 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 215. Okay, that's my XY. So we're going to do that for each one. Again, if you need to flip it up, you can. I got some good ones here. Let's use this one. Yours will be different than mine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can kind of put a little dot here if you want, like on your square or on your triangle where that point is. But you're going to find one for each one. Okay, there's a good one. 1, 2, 3, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Minus 13 there. And then the oval is usually the trickiest one. Yeah, so see, I don't really have one that intersects anywhere. So I'm just going to pick one that's kind of close. This one here is kind of close. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, minus 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, minus 5. Okay, so these are all our original ones. Now what we're going to do is we're going to reflect it over this line, which is just flip it. So I'm going to take my triangle, I'm going to flip it over, making sure that this edge is still on my y-axis. And then I'm going to trace around it. And you can see I kind of put there's my point right there. So this is the point. And I'm going to label that point. Now, again, it's not going to be perfect, okay? Because if I don't have it right on that axis, it's not going to be perfect. But this is -2, 15. So you're going to do that for each shape. You're going to flip it over, trace it in a new colored pencil or pen or something like that, and label your new point, okay? And again, they may overlap. That's okay. Okay, so here was my point. Right here is that point. If you want to pause the video and do all yours and then catch back up, you can do that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5, comma, 1, 2, well, that was 15, so this is 16. Okay, it looks like right here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, comma, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, -10. And the oval again is the tricky one because you don't have a straight edge to line up. Okay, so it was like right here, which is going to be about right here, which is -4, 5. Okay, if you need more time to finish that, go ahead and pause the video and catch back up, and then you can continue playing the video. But we're going to look at these points, okay? Let's just start here with the oval, okay? I started with xy. My xy was at -4, -5. When I reflect that over the x-axis, it becomes -4, +5. So what happens? Well, my x values did not change at all. Okay, if you got some writing, you may want to erase it on there. My x value did not change at all, but my y value changed signs. Okay, it went from a negative to a positive. So we do that by a minus y. That minus means changes signs. So if it was positive, it becomes negative. If it was negative, it becomes positive. I also want to note, this is my line of reflection. This distance here is the exact same distance here. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away. This is also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away. They're equal distance. They're also perpendicular. Okay, and that will be true for all of these. If we go to the y-axis, okay, it was at 215. Now it's at -215. So in this case, your x value changed signs, but your y value stayed the same. And this is 2 away, and this is 2 away. Okay, and they're also perpendicular. So it's equal distance away. This is your line of reflection. So the image and the pre-image are equal distance away from your line of reflection. Now it gets a little bit tricky with these diagonal ones. Okay, so this was xy at 16.5, and now we're at 5.16. So instead of xy, it actually switched them and became yx. It switched places. Now, for the distance on these, we actually have to count the diagonals. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5 diagonals. See how I'm going through the corners of the squares there? And this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. So this one should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. Okay, those are the same. It's also perpendicular. Okay, so you're counting the diagonals. If you reflect over a diagonal, you count the diagonals. If we come down here, this was 10, -13. Well, now it's a +13, -10. So when we flip over the line y equals -x, we flip them, but we actually change the sign of each one of them. So -y, -x. So flip them and change the signs. Also, this is 1.5 diagonals away. This one over here, 1.5 diagonals away. Okay. So we have that reflection piece there, but it's also equal distance away from your line of reflection and perpendicular. Okay. Let's go ahead and write these out, these 4 rules. We're going to write them out down here in the corner. So if I flip over the x-axis, that rule is x, y. Okay, here's my x-axis. xy goes to x, negative y. Okay, flip over the x, only the y value changes. If I go over the y-axis, x, y, that's your original, goes to, we can come up here, xy changes to negative xy. Okay, again, on the y-axis, just the x value changes. Over y equals x line, xy goes to, if we come up here, xy, when I reflect it over, it switches. So it goes y, x. And the reason that is, I'm telling you that my x's and y's are the same. It says y equals x. So when I come down here, x, well, that equaled y, and y equaled x. They just flip-flop because they're equal. Over y equals negative x is very similar. Right here, your xy changes to negative y, negative x, because your equation y equaled negative x. So your new y value is negative x, and your new x value is negative y. Okay, so you flip them and change the signs. This is important here, this section. This is important to know. Okay, you will need to know these, and you will need to be able to use them on the test. Okay, so if I give you an image, you plug it in, or you switch them, or you just change the signs of these ordered pairs. That's one way to do the reflection. The other way to do the reflection is to count the distance from your line of reflection. And that line of reflection, these are just 4 of them. Something like y equals -2 could be a line of reflection. And y equals -2 is this horizontal line right here. So then I would reflect, or I would count to that. These rules differ a little bit when you have those different lines of reflection. Okay. All right, so here are your notes. If you need to re-watch and get these notes, definitely do that. And then your assignment will be on big ideas for reflections.